So, we finally got a trailer for LEGO Star Wars the Skywalker saga, which, taking all things into consideration, I think Gamescom was a total success apart from the fact that LEGO Star Wars the Skywalker saga was delayed. Like, it delivered what I was expecting. I really was expecting a release date, but at least they admitted that they weren't ready with the game. It's better that they're telling us that they just aren't ready than just not giving us a release date at all. That shows us that they care about the game. They care about what we think about TT games in their game. So, LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga is getting delayed, sadly, but like Mazio commented, I guess the devs do need a little more time. But there is a positive catch to this. We got a new trailer. Yes, we did get a new trailer, which is very exciting because there's a lot to unpack in this trailer, and I decided why not unpack it right here. So right here, I've just got the trailer, and I guess we'll just jump right into it. Now, so this trailer was revealed 2 days ago as of recording this, and it is about a 2 minutes and 2 seconds trailer. So it's a nice, good length trailer, apart from the, the advertising LEGO Star Wars Skywalker on Switch or PS5 or whatever. So yeah, it's a good length trailer. So let's see what happens. So first, let me just So first, we just have the visit ESRB rating information or whatever for the rating or whatever. So then we open up with Padme, Qui-Gon, and sorry, let me just skip back like 10 seconds. So we open up with Padme, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan, which is right before the Duel of Fates, the iconic battle. We all know it. We've all played it in LEGO Star Wars Complete Saga or the other video games. And this cutscene actually looks pretty good. You can just take a look at the graphics here, and that just shows you how it looks really good. Then you get to see Maul with his double-bladed lightsaber. Behind them, you have the door. So Maul looks very stunning. He looks similar to kind of the other trailers. And the lighting effects are actually, they look a bit darker in this part. Well, in the other trailers, they looked a bit brighter. So I don't know if that's just some clever editing that they're doing, but that's definitely. Then you get to see the duel. So I just want to talk about, for the entire trailer, this is kind of, they have this kind of over-shoulder camera view. So if you don't know what that is, basically this is what it is. You kind of like see it from the perspective over their shoulder. So if they move to the left, you're kind of going to like move the camera, like rotate to the left. Or if they duck, you're kind of going to move the camera down. So it's an over-shoulder camera view where they kind of like duck down, over-shoulder camera view, stuff like that. So let me just press play again. So then you get to see the duel, and then you get to see this funny part where Qui-Gon is just hitting Obi-Wan in the face saying, "Oh, promise me you will train Anakin." And you can see the LEGO emblem on his arm, actually, if I just skip back. Sorry about that. It's kind of hard to pause right at the right time. But if you skip back right here, you can see the LEGO emblem right on his arm, right here. See, LEGO emblem right on his arm. So that's a clever thing that they do. They even keep the LEGO emblem, even though if they wanted, they could take it away. Now, as far as we know in this trailer, I don't know if there's the holes in the bottom of their feet, because if you know in LEGO minifigures, they have holes at the bottom of their feet so that you can put them on studs. But I do not know. I know in LEGO Star Wars, the Freemaker Adventures, they didn't have the holes on the feet, so I don't know about this one. Then you see Anakin with his teddy bear, and it looks like a one-eyed teddy bear if you look, so I don't know what animal that is based on. I actually didn't notice that on my first watch of the trailer, so it looks like a one-eyed teddy bear. So right here, we just have Obi-Wan saying he will do it. "I promise, Master." Then you get to see Anakin and Obi-Wan with the Chancellor in handcuffs. And honestly, the cutscenes look really good in this game. Like, I'm very stunned on how the cutscenes look. They look really good. So lightsaber. Then you get to see Obi-Wan, Revenge of the Sith, fighting Count Dooku in Revenge of the Sith. And let's just take a minute to look around the room. The room looks more accurate to what it did in the movie than compared to LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. I have to admire it. It looks way more accurate. I almost feel like I'm playing the movie in LEGO. Like, this game is just taking it to the next level. You know how sometimes how in LEGO games, how they can't quite capture a scene properly? Well, this captures the scene perfectly. And then you get to see kind of how the Force powers work. So Count Dooku Obi-Wan goes to throw something at Count Dooku, then just bursts into a million pieces. Then you cut to a scene with Obi-Wan and Anakin in the duel on Revenge of the Sith. And let's just take a second look right here. I actually paused it at the perfect moment, because in this scene right here, you see that Obi-Wan's arm actually bends out of the socket. I circled it right now, as you can see. It kind of like bends out of the socket. So as you see, they capture the movement very good. Like, even though LEGO can't actually bend out of the socket, they capture the movement very carefully. And I'm just gonna play the clip really quickly right here, but you can really see how the over-shoulder camera looks. So he just ducks, and then like he goes into a forward motion when he like kind of like does like a lunge, you can see that the camera just moves up. So it's a really fast camera motion that exactly captures. Then there's this funny part right here where you see Luke asking, how did my father die? And in the camera, in the background right here, I paused it perfectly right here, you can see Obi-Wan, young Obi-Wan, talking to Commander Cody. So Luke's got some background stuff right here. Then you can also see right beside Luke in the background right here, Luke 3PO, you can see another photo with the clones and Obi-Wan. And then in the front, you just see Obi-Wan going like he's like, oh boy, what do I say? And then you can see a couple hands in this box here. So what are those? I think those might be actually, I'm going to say right here, I think those might be Anakin's hands right there. I didn't notice that on my first playthrough, but first watch of the trailer. But I think those might be Anakin Skywalker's hands because he chopped them all off. That would be a very funny scene right there. He just opens the box and Luke's just like, what are in those? And he's just like, nothing. Then you see Luke entering an X-Wing and you get a bit of the cutscene where he's flying to space. Now, we're not exactly sure if when you're flying in space, if it's a cutscene or you can actually control the flying space. And then you get to see this open world scene right here, which looks really interesting in this open world scene right here. So you can actually see how he kind of like, sorry, I'm just going to skip back 10 seconds. You can actually see how he kind of like in the other game, as you can see on the screen right now, the clip that I'm showing on the screen right now, you can see that in the other games, they're kind of like step stools that you can like jump on, kind of like you could parkour over some step stuff. And then in the background, you can see the new holographic studs and some of the destroyable objects that just hang around the area. So you see a bit of jumping, and then he's just saying one of the audio. Sorry, I had to mute it because you wouldn't be able to hear my voice. Then you see the carbonite chamber. Now, I actually just want to comment right here. There aren't as many studs as I was expecting. In LEGO Star Wars the Force Awakens, this entire thing is full of studs, but it seems that there are not that many studs in this thing. So this will be interesting when I try to do my no stud touching video, because it's going to be very interesting. I wonder if this will be easier than in LEGO Star Wars the Force Awakens. That would be very interesting. And look, this is another example of how they captured this thing beautifully. Look at this room. And you know how sometimes the trailers, they just make you want the game more? This is kind of like, we want the trailers, but they also kind of just like make us really want the game, where we're like, oh, wait, now it's still being delayed. So it makes us even more sad because we have to watch as the beautiful trailers are on the screen, and then we can't play the game. Then this part actually looks really interesting because you can see these kind of like duck things where you can duck behind and snipe a couple troopers. Now, these were in LEGO Star Wars Force Awakens also, but right here it seems that you can shoot them and destroy them. So you got to be careful that you don't shoot all of them. And look, right here, I paused it very perfectly also. You can see that he turns red for a second. So that's your hit count. Now, on the screen, you can't see any of the health bars or, like, power-up points. So they did some clever editing, because now we don't know how this game's combat is actually going to work. They were clever by removing those so that we wouldn't know, what the combat meters are and how the health works. Like, as you already know that there were going to be health bars in this game, but they were clever to not put them. And then you see him fighting some Sith troopers right here. And then he does a roll duck. And as you can see, when he rolls, you can even see that the camera rolls with him. So that's what I was saying about the over-shoulder view. It's exactly like a third-person viewpoint, but it's an over-shoulder view. So then you see Luke saying, I will not be the last Jedi. And you can see Kylo Ren just taking out his lightsaber. Now, Kylo Ren actually looks very stunning in this game. He looks a lot like LEGO Star Wars Force Awakens. And it's actually, like, we don't really appreciate how, like, in most LEGO games, everything is built out of LEGO stats. So it's very good how, it's very, like, I don't know how they do that with the CGI, how they make everything look so detailed, like it's real, like they just literally built it out of stop motion. Then you see Rey swinging her lightsaber here, which looks to be a cutscene. Now, just watching that scene right here, I thought maybe, like, because they've already announced that there's going to be skill trees in this game. So I'm wondering if maybe, like, when you do a Jedi training, you can earn a point. So maybe that's going to be kind of like a point area. So once you complete that part of the level where Rey is training, maybe you get to unlock a bunch of new skills. So that would be a very interesting point for them, like an area, kind of like save points. So that would be a very interesting save point for them to do it, kind of like in Fallen Order. So then it just says join the fight, and you see Rey taking out a couple Praetorian Guards. Now, I just want to direct you to the fires here. So some of the fires are Lego here, and some of in the background are real fires. So I actually think it's very cool when they make Lego fires look like they're real by adding the crackling sound effect. It's very good how they do it, and I'm very impressed on what Lego does. Like, seriously, I don't know if, like, any of us could ever do this with just Lego stop motion. Like, I'm making a Lego stop motion video right now, and it looks nothing compared to any of this. And then she force chokes, it looks to be, the Praetorian Guard. So that might be one of Rey's abilities. Then we get to see this clip right here is a very important clip. So in the background, you get to see an ATSD. On the left, you get to see what appears to be a buildable object, because you see how it has those little sparkles up in the air. So that normally tells you what a buildable object is. So basically, you just have to hit B on the controller, and then you get to build the object, and then it becomes like something. And it looks like the Ewok here is doing a special move on the Stormtrooper. So this is what I was talking about earlier. They did the clever editing to remove the thing, so we don't know what the special bars are. So I'm guessing that you're going to have to hit like AY or something. It's going to be mapped to a special button, and maybe you get to choose what buttons you want to do, and then you get to do the special move. And then you can also see, I'm guessing like there's this bunch of studs, more holographic studs, like I said. So he hits the Stormtrooper, and then this part is actually very interesting. This appears to be a level, which I wasn't actually expecting in this game, the chase with Slave 1 versus Obi-Wan Kenobi. So we see that he goes through a ring of studs, but the studs don't all collect. Normally in LEGO Star Wars Force Awakens, when you go through a ring of studs, all the studs around you will collect. So that's interesting for a no stud challenge. Like again, then you see Jango Fett throws a seismic charge, which we all love those seismic charges. They're just so satisfying when they explode. So that's going to be very cool if you get to play as Slave 1 and then you just drop a seismic charge and everybody just blows up. That would be very cool. That would be such a cool thing. Then you get to see, now this scene looks kind of like more of the other trailers. It's kind of like a farther screen view. So as you might have noticed, in the first three couple trailers that we got, we saw more of the third person view. Well, in this trailer, we mostly saw an over shoulder view. So I wonder if you can switch between over shoulder view and third person. That just answers, like, this is a very interesting thing that I've just literally noticed while recording this right now, is that I think you might be able to change, kind of like in how in Star Wars Battlefront 2015, I think 2017, you're able to switch between first person and third person. Then you see him right before he takes off the head of Jango, and right here you can see I paused it again where the Stormtrooper got shot and it turns red, and this was already shown in a couple screenshots. So this is where Vader goes in the trailer and goes to kill everybody. So here we go. Then it's just Luke talking to Rey. Don't be afraid of the dark side. Oh, wait, this part's funny right here, where she says, reach out, and then she's just reaching to Chewbacca, and I'm guessing in the normal cutscene, she's going to say, oh, I feel something, which is a funny thing, because that was one of the very funny scenes of The Last Jedi, where he just takes the wine and hits Rey. That was a very funny scene. So as you can see, this is like classic Lego humor in all these Lego games. So explore the galaxy. Then this is a very interesting part that I have to pause right here. So right here in the background, you can see Luke's X-Wing and Luke Skywalker, but this is where I want to pause. Now I'm going to take a portion of my video to explain this. So this, my friends, is the open world map. So this is very interesting. I vaguely talked about this in my other video, but I'm going to go through it here right now. So it seems that like in normal games, you have to hit the map button, which is the two squares kind of overlapping over each other. Those are the normal map button. And it seems that on the top you can see LB and RB. So just as a side note, this is being played on Xbox right now. The demo is being played on Xbox. So that's an interesting thing. Even though sometimes at the end of the trailer they advertise for PlayStation 5. So this is interesting, is that they're doing the demos on Xbox and not PlayStation. So right here, as you can see the bumper stickers. So I'm guessing that the first thing is map. The second thing is probably character customization, ship customization. There's something over there that looks like an arrow and a star, and then like a warning sign. I don't even know what that is, and a question mark. So I have no idea what those could be, but those probably going to be covered in another trailer. Now I'm just going to direct you to the bottom. So X is view map, kind of like in Fallen Order, how you can view the planet map. So there are going to be very detailed maps in here, and I really just love maps. They're just so fun to just look at the map and look at all the areas that you haven't discovered yet and try to figure out how to get there. So I'm going to vaguely go over all the planets. So we have Acto, Kefbur, Endor, Hoth, Bespin, question mark, Utapau, whatever how you pronounce it, Dagobah, Crate, Dakar, sorry, the thing is covering it, Naboo, Pisana, Geonosis, Tatooine, Kamino, Kashyyyk, Kajimi, Yavin 4, Cantonica, which is what's called in The Last Jedi, the city that they went to where they gambled. I don't even remember what it's called. Agent Claw. So then there's a couple question marks planets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 question mark planets. Now offhand right now I can't really think what those planets could be, but I'm guessing those are probably going to be planets like I don't know if Coruscant is on there. I just read the entire thing. I don't even remember if Coruscant's on there. No, I don't think Coruscant is on there. So that's probably going to be a planet like Coruscant that hasn't been unlocked yet, or other planets that could be coming throughout the game. Now I'm going to direct you to the bottom again. On the left you can see X minus 1.5, Y 1.6, Z 27.5. So that's very interesting because I'm guessing that it's probably going to show you like the lateral things along the map right here. And on the right you can see it says 110 something and 1 carbonite brick. No, it's not carbonite brick. I don't even remember what they're called, but it's telling you this is basically kind of like your stats thing right there. So it's 110. I don't know what those are. 1 carbonite brick, whatever they're called, and then 0, 1 of something else. So I have no idea what those last stuff are. And there is Tatooine, Geonosis, Naboo, Dakar, Utapau, Dagobah. So yeah, all the planets that I just named. So then it's just he jumps out of hyperspace, and you can see that he's landing on Tatooine. And this might be a cutscene. We don't know if it's going to be a cutscene where you have to land, but it appears that it might sadly be a cutscene. But I think it would be still really fun to have the manual control over everything. So then you can see a couple stormtroopers, and you see Lando running through the thing. Now, I don't know if this is classic characters Lando or the new Lando. I think it's the redesigned Lando, but I don't know. And then you see Rey with a jetpack. Now, this is a very interesting scene right here because I think it might mean that you might be able to pick up collectibles along your journey. So you'll be able to pick up collectibles, and then you'll be able to keep them along with you, kind of like in like some sort of modern game where you're able to like pick up a sword and then you keep the sword for the rest of the game. So that would be very cool if you were able to do that. 3PO and an AT-RT. Now this is also an interesting scene because in the first game, droids couldn't jump or ride vehicles. So this is new for this game. So now droids can ride vehicles. You see Jana running on, what's the planet even called? I don't even remember anymore. Kef Bir. Yeah, it's Kef Bir. And you can see the Death Star 2's remains in the background. And this looks like a really interesting planet to play through in the level in the Rise of Skywalker and a hub world. Then you just see the entire saga. Dun, 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 and then the music plays in the background. And this scene also looks really interesting between Yoda and Dooku, because we never got the battle between Yoda and the Emperor. So it looks like this is a spamming moment where you just have to hit B, 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 but they cleverly edited that out so we don't get any insight on what they're doing. So this might be a very interesting level. I'm guessing that you're going to be able to play that at the same time as the duel with Obi-Wan and Anakin. So I'm guessing that the first part of the level is going to be you battling Obi-Wan and Anakin, and the second part is going to be Yoda v Palpatine. So then you see Han riding the Tong on Hoth, and this looks like he's in the hub world right now because this doesn't look like any part from the movie. This could have been like an extra part, because sometimes they just take parts of the level and they have to add parts that aren't actually in the movie so they can make the levels longer. But this does not look like any part in the movie. And you can also see the weathering on Han, because you can see right now that there's snow covering him. So that's very cool. This is new to this game, where like if you're on a snow planet, you're going to be covered in snow. If you're on a sand planet, you're going to be covered in sand. If you're on a water planet, your hair's going to be wet like as soon as you jump out of the water. So that's really cool, and that's never been done in a Lego game before. And then we have what appears to be in The Last Jedi when they're on the First Order ship. It looks like you have to shoot like the TIE fighters here, so it looks like this is part of the level where you then have to battle Captain Phasma, which is probably going to be a boss fight, and then you escape. So we just see that for a second. Then you get to see this, which was featured in other trailers, the Falcon shooting down an X-Wing, and we are nearing the end of the trailer. This is also a very interesting part with Qui-Gon battling a couple battle droids. So this looks like it's right before it looks like it's the level where you have to rescue Queen Amidala. So this looks like a very interesting level. And then you can see the holographic studs in the background. Now I'm just going to repeat what I said earlier. There aren't many studs in this game. Actually, kind of like this maybe they've edited out a couple studs so that we don't know what they're planning. But this is actually very interesting, is that there's no studs in the background basically. And then you see Chewbacca shooting Boba Fett, which is probably part of the boss fight in Return of the Jedi. And this scene looks very interesting. Obi-Wan running away from from Jango Fett Slave 1, I really want to play this level right now. Just looking at this, look at Obi-Wan. He looks so good. And, like, you can even see, look, like I said earlier, you can see that he's wet right now. You can tell that he's got a shimmer on him and that he's wet, which is another thing. And this answers my question from the beginning. You can see the holes in the bottom of his feet right here. So it appears that, yes, they do have holes in the bottom of the feet. And then you can see our 4P17 in the background. And this is another interesting scene. You see Rey jumping up a couple parkour things, which is taken from Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, so they're reintroducing those again. And then you see her getting another carbonite brick or whatever. I don't even remember what they're called. Sorry, I've got a very bad memory. And then you see another one next to the Maz Kanata statue. And then, look, this part is also really interesting, and I really want to play this, is the Gungan chase scene with the big fish. So this was not featured in Lego Star Wars Complete Saga, and I always thought to myself that this should have been a bonus level that they added in, because this was a very good part of the movie where Qui-Gon delivers the line, "There's always a bigger fish." So this looks like a very good level, and it's very stunning on how they did it. But now we are nearing the last scene of the trailer, which is Kylo Ren's TIE Silencer approaching Rey, which is what we saw in the Rise of Skywalker teaser trailer and the teaser trailer for this game. Then she goes to cut it, but you never know what happens. You have to get the game. And now we end with the beautiful Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga and the not beautiful 2022. Which is, we didn't want to see this, but sadly, the sad truth has come out. But I will be making a video on why I think this game is being delayed again, and what my theories are on when it's going to be released, and what we should be expecting for the release. And then we just get a funny part at the beginning, where he's just like, Yoda's just like, "Oh, the boy's not ready." He's like, "I am ready. Look, I'm ready." And then he just takes off his thing, and then you see him with a neck brace getting ready to train with Yoda. Then he just pulls out the lightsaber and hits the ground. And he's just like, "Aw." And Obi-Wan just hits his head on the thing. He's like, "Oh, no." Because literally, like, this is just funny for Lego game, because Luke was their last hope, and now he's just like, "Oh, no, phooey, we're going to lose." So that's a very funny thing. Spring 2022, and then you see Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series 1, X, and S. So that is the end for this trailer that we got. Very good trailer. Definitely worth the wait. Kind of disappointing that it got delayed, but alas, this is all we have for now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me in the comments if I missed any details, because, you know, I guess I probably missed a couple details. I literally just came up with these Easter eggs right now as I'm making this video. So I definitely will probably be watching a couple other people's reviews on this trailer. And definitely tell me your thoughts about this trailer and generally about the Skywalker Saga in the comments below. So like and subscribe, and bye.
I am a Jedi. Like my father before me.
So be it, Jedi. Huh?